Listen to this message today if you want to let your faith guide you in high-stake business decision making. As a practicing Christian, I know firsthand how important it is to let my faith be my guide and incorporate it in my professional business decision making. So stick around, because I'm going to share with you some real life strategies that will help you make better holistic decisions in your business, in your nonprofit, or as you seek to climb that corporate ladder. Hey there, all you legacy builders out there. I'm Myles Threatt, and I help leaders build a lasting legacy no matter where they're at in their leadership journey. I'm diving into a topic that's really close to my heart. It's integrating your faith in your business decision making. I know, and many of you may have experienced it as well, when it comes to being a leader in the corporate world. The majority of the time, they just prefer you to leave your faith at the door, the business, the facility. Just leave it out there in your car. And I know the workplace can be a very secular environment, and you might openly worry about your beliefs and your faith making someone feel uncomfortable or even being seen as unprofessional. But here's the thing. Your faith is the core of who you are. You see, it shaped your values, it shapes your decision making, and it also defines the way you interact with the world around you. And what happens is when you try to separate your faith from your work life, it really throws you out of balance. And it can hold you back from being the best leader that you possibly could be. That's why I'm a proponent of integrating your faith into your work life, into your business decision making. And I know it can be a delicate balance. I get that. I've worked in the corporate world. I've worked in the nonprofit world. I've worked in settings in the world where it's not very popular to be a Christian. And I know you got to find that balance. You got to understand the policies of your organization. You better know the politics of your organization. You better have a good pulse on what people think, believe, feel about these types of things. But with the right approach, you can absolutely bring your faith with you and let it inform your leadership style and your decision making. Because the reality is, when you bring it with you because it's a core of who you are, first, it allows you to be authentic. It will also help you be a lot more effective. And approached in the right way, you're going to gain the respect of many of those around you. As I always tell my clients, to examine their own faith and values. It's a part of the awareness process. How do their faith and values influence them as a leader and their decision making? And how are they using it as a guide to navigate launching that nonprofit or starting that business? How are you going to navigate the politics of climbing the corporate ladder without your faith? You see, it starts with thinking about, what are those core principles that guide your life? And if faith is at the core, then what are those principles that you're allowing right now to guide you in those big decisions that you're faced with? You see, what kind of legacy do you really want to leave? I know you're trying to build this legacy as you climb the corporate ladder or as you launch that nonprofit dream of yours. So what role is faith going to play in it for you? See, when you can define for yourself what kind of legacy you want to leave behind, so you can begin to determine how those beliefs are going to define your work and what role are they going to play in the legacy that you're trying to build. Let's just say one of your core values is kindness. And I view kindness as a superpower. It is a leadership superpower. And kindness might mean in your leadership role as you're dealing with a difficult colleague in a difficult situation, and you just extend kindness to them to try to work it out and find common ground and create that win-win situation for both of you. And that kindness means that you're more patient with them. You spend a little bit more time trying to understand their perspective. You listen a little bit more. You try to find ways to collaborate on those ideas, and you extend that kindness. Yeah, they frustrate you, but you're allowing your faith to guide you, and you're allowing that core value of kindness to be demonstrated in all your interactions with them, both seen and unseen. Let's throw out one more example out there. Let's look at empathy. There again, I view that as a leadership superpower. And empathy is putting ourselves in that person's shoes. Maybe you got a team member way behind on some work or way behind on a project, and you realize they're going through a family crisis. Maybe it's a family medical crisis, and you're trying to help them navigate that. And also you got a project deadline you're dealing with, at the same time. And so you try to put yourself in their shoes, and maybe you provide extra support for them, or incorporate some other people on the team to distribute some of their workload for right now, because the demand of the medical needs of their family is maybe more than they can bear at this moment. But they've always produced great work. But it's you putting yourself in their shoes. And at the same time, how do you let faith guide you in those situations? Coming from a Christian perspective, I can be praying for them, praying for their family. I could offer some practical help in different ways that I could reach out to show them that I care about them in these situations. And that is me integrating my faith in my leadership role and my faith in my decision making with this whole situation. See, it's really important that you find those intersections where our faith and our leadership cross. It's not trying to convert them or force them to believe like you believe. I've worked in settings in the world where I was around majority Buddhist people, and I worked in settings where I was working with majority Muslim people. And yet I would find those intersections of where my faith and leadership could connect in those situations with those individuals. And it would create opportunities for me to integrate my faith in my leadership role. Some other ways that I do that is I'm always starting a day that way. I'm starting a day setting a foundation based on my faith, whether it's listening to something inspirational from a minister, Bible teacher somewhere, and I'm using that to help me grow, or I'm reading something to help me grow, or I'm spending time in prayer to help me get my day started, to get me aligned with what I want to accomplish that day, but also get me in the right mindset at the same time, get my thoughts aligned with my heart and get my soul in the right place before I begin the day and try to provide the leadership and guidance that's needed for the decisions that I'm going to face with that day that will impact others and impact organizations and impact work that we're trying to get accomplished. And the only way that I can do that effectively is by making that an important part of my day and implementing that on a regular basis. Are there days that I don't do it? Yeah, there's some days that I don't get to it. But most days I find time, I make time. And it's not only just starting a day, it's pausing at different times of the day and refocusing where I'm at. What decision am I faced with right now? Where do I need guidance? And asking God in prayer to help me in those moments and times. And so, there's some strategic reminders I put on my calendar for myself throughout the day as well. Because I know if I don't put it there, I'm going to forget about it and I'm just going to go right through my day. Yes, it will happen. I know. And so if I don't build that structure around my day and build my faith into my work life, then I'm not going to be able to even integrate it in my work anyway if I don't do that. And so that is part of my practice for myself. What is your practice for yourself? Is it going to be starting a day a certain way, reading something, listening to something, just prayer and meditation? Is it pausing sometime during the day to have that reflective moment, that time of prayer, meditating in? Build those things into your work life, and then you're going to integrate your faith into your work life as well. See, one of the cool things is, as you integrate your faith into your leadership role, it's going to have an impact on others. Sometimes it's going to have a very positive impact. You're going to help people grow in their leadership. You're going to help them accomplish things in their work life that were not possible because of the insights that you were able to provide to them because you were connected to your source and you're able to share some wisdom, some guidance, provide some mentoring, provide some coaching to them in those moments and times that they needed it most. And you're going to impact lives in a positive way. I can also tell you from practical experience as well that you're going to upset a few people. Yeah, because you're going to let your faith guide you to make certain decisions. And then sometimes people might not like those decisions. They might not agree with those decisions. And it's in those moments that you're going to have to be strong and rely on your faith even more. Because even when you got to make those really difficult, hard decisions, you know you're not going to please everyone. And that's not your job anyway. Your job is to make the best decision possible with the information that you have. And then you're relying on your faith at the same time to guide you and be that guide for you. And you know you're also going to need your faith to sustain you to fight the storm that you're about to go through, because, there's going to be some people not very happy with you. You see, as you integrate your faith more into your work life, your colleagues are going to experience the real authentic you. And some of them are going to love it. And they're going to find it because you're in the right mindset, in the right space. You're going to be more approachable even when you're faced with difficult decisions. You're going to be easier to come to. And because you've integrated your faith, those clients and customers that you're serving, they're going to sense a deeper level of care and consideration and thoughtfulness because of the impact of your faith practices on you. And as people experience this and see this and notice this about you, they're going to be intrigued themselves. They're going to notice some changes. And it's going to create opportunities for you to share one-on-one in a safe environment about your faith and how it helps you be the leader that you need to be, how it helps you make the decisions that you're trying to make. I want to share a story with you about how one time I integrated my faith in a really important decision that I was faced with. This is back when I was doing my nonprofit work, and I was doing it among a demographic people group that I felt called to. I was doing the type of work that was I felt like part of my purpose, part of my passion. So everything as far as purpose, passion, location, strategic, everything was in alignment. Even had some team members on our team. So everything was going in the right direction. Felt like I was fulfilling God's calling on my life and doing the things that He had called me to do. And I was faced with a very difficult decision to give it up because one of my children at the time had some special needs for their education. We were homeschooling, and my wife at the time did not have the skills or abilities to meet the need that my child had for her educational purposes. And we were basically looking at leaving this nonprofit work that we had started and felt so called to, and we were going to have to transition and move it to a different location. And, we had 2 locations we could go to, and it would keep us with a similar demographic of a people group, but in a totally different country and different area, but allow my daughter to go to an international school to have her educational needs met. And there was our second location, same thing. We had had to join a team to work with them in their work, and it was in the same country we were in, so we knew the language in that country. We didn't have to worry about going and learning a new language somewhere else. And actually, the education system in this other school had a teacher, a special needs teacher that could specifically work with our child and had understood her needs and had special training to help her as far as her education is concerned. So we were basically faced with 2 decisions, and either one would have been good, and at the time in our life where we're at, thinking about the need of our child, being in the same country, not having to worry about learning another language again, we decided to choose a location that kept us in the country we were at, so we didn't have to learn another language and join in a team that we could become a part of and continue doing nonprofit work and working in that country with that specific people group at that time. Now, how did our faith guide us in that situation? For us, it was just a lot of prayer. It was a lot of talking to God about it. It was a lot of reading scripture. It was incorporating other believers that were really close to us and getting feedback from them as well. It was involved with some of our leadership organization at the same time, but we had all this other influence, and yet we were letting our faith guide us at the same time. And part of the faith decision was making the best decision for our child as well. And God honored that and blessed that. And it ended up being a good thing for myself and my family at that present time, and was the best thing for my child. And so, when you're faced with those difficult decisions, let your faith guide you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a very big life-altering decision that you're faced with. It could be something very simple. Let's just say you got a big project you're working on right now, and you want to do really well on that project, and you just pray and meditate about it and ask God's help along the way, and then as you're going through it day by day, and you see that He lines up certain things for you to help you make that progress and help you get the results that you're looking for, because you just took time to invite God to join you in that work that's been placed in your lap. And the reality is, He let it get placed there in the first place. And so now you're just letting Him guide you. As I think about this topic, integrating faith into your business decisions, I have a challenge for you. And that challenge is to incorporate your faith practice into your daily work life. Invite God into those situations, those projects, those programs, that vision, that dream. Invite Him into those moments with you and take it to Him and let Him guide you. You faced with a difficult team member you're dealing with right now? Ask God in that situation. You're trying to make a career change, a career move? Invite God in that situation. You ready to launch that nonprofit or that business? You better invite God in that situation for you. Ask Him and ask for His guidance. and ask for his help. And then as you incorporate that into your work life, when you need to make that decisions, some tough decisions, he'll be there for you. You're not going to get them all right. That's not the purpose of it anyway. There's going to be a learning experience along the way. Some of that learning is going to come from you failing as well, even in situations like this. But just trust it to him. So if you want to take a more faith-based leadership approach to climbing the corporate ladder, launching your nonprofit dream, or kickstarting that business you've been thinking about, I'm going to put a link in the description below for you to sign up for a discovery call where you can see if we'd be a good fit to work together and how I can help you integrate your faith and making that dream that you have come true. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any updates. I'm here to be your guide on this incredible journey of leaving a lasting legacy. And I can't wait to see what God has in store for you. Until next time, my friends, remember to lead with kindness, empathy, and sprinkle it with gratitude. Because those superpowers will help you be that leader that will leave a lasting legacy in those around you.